we're back. And once again in my hammock. Because life is short and sucks and everywhere else messy. And I was filming yesterday, so I had my light and camera already installed there, so I didn't really want to, undo it, to do it again in different place, to shoot in different place. I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm not moving it. I think that's overall the mood of the week. If it's not strictly necessary, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing great at my plans or anything right now. I'm not very proud of myself, which is always appreciated. So there's that. The truth is, I don't know if I mentioned it in my last vlog, and I'm not gonna recheck it to know. It's been a bitch. My mental health is complicated right now. I'm changing meds. Last week I started a med that I tested in a different dosage a few months back, and it threw me into a depressive episode. So knowing me and knowing my body, I knew that starting it again would throw me into a different depressive episode. But dogs and I don't agree often. And dogs, because they think that I don't know my body and I don't know my mind, they think that it was a coincidence. I knew it was not, because I'm very self-aware. And they wouldn't give me any other painkillers until I tried it again. Because dogs are awesome. So I took it again to prove my point. So I knew I was throwing myself into a depressive episode to a purpose. So that's that. So I went to see my Psy Monday, and she decided that I was telling the truth, weirdly enough, and they're still amazed that I understand what's going on in my body. I'm pretty pissed, to be honest, and I wish they took me seriously, but they never do. That's pretty annoying. I think they're used to people not understanding what's going on with them in their bodies and brains, and that's not me. So when I go to them, I'm telling them, hey, it's going on, this shit is going on and happening, and I need you to give me this to fix it. And they just don't, because that would be too easy. Anyway, Monday I went to my site, so I started the shitty painkillers, and I told her that I was always tired and lacking energy and lacking motivation, and that I wanted something to change that, to impress it. So truth is, I'm bipolar, so there is always in my life manic episodes and depressive episodes. Manic episodes are very dangerous if you don't control them. They are a pain in the ass, to be honest. They can have a lot of nefarious consequences because you don't think really much about long-term plans. Let's put it that way. But I've been getting pretty good at controlling them, and they have the advantage of having a lot of energy and a lot of motivation, and that's kind of what I'm lacking right now. I'm more often in depressive episodes than in Manic episode. I have that like once every 2 weeks, and it lasts a few hours most. I can totally handle it. Truth is, I would like to be a little more up. So that's what I said to my side. So, what I have right now, the bloody shit was antidepressant, I think, it's a different kind. It didn't work out for me. And what I have currently is mood regulators. So, the goal of the mood regulators is to lower the range between my episodes. Like, the episodes are still there, but they're not as intense, up or down. Which makes sense, since I'm bipolar and I don't need antidepressants because I'm not just depressive. So I need something to sandwich the stuff. And I started at a dose that was higher than what I had for like 2 years. I started at 225, and it made me a little numb and a little stone. So it was great. So I decided to lower it with of course the approval of on my side to 200, and I've been 200 for a little while now, for over 2 years. It went great. So that's what we did for 2 years, but now that I'm lacking energy and that I just want to move on with my life and start doing stuff again, I asked her to lower that dosage to 175. So what it is going to do is widen the episodes. That's risky, that's not exactly what I want, because what I want is to be up, is not to be more wide, it's just to be more up. But if it's working as I think it will, my episode would just be more intense. So maybe I'll be a little more manic, but I'll be more susceptible to take antidepressants better. So what I'm going to negotiate next time I see her in 2 weeks will be to keep that mood regulator to 175, and then add antidepressant on top of that. It's not an exact science. It's being bipolar and having mood swings is bitch, because there's no universal solution for it, and already finding something stable is a fucking fight. And what my body does in reaction to meds is not always what we expected. So truth is, when I took antidepressants last time, I was frizzled and slightly manic, but I was mostly hyper depressed. So that was a bitch. Anyway, the thing is, I'm not great. Let's put it slightly. I'm very tired. For the time I wasn't the bloody med, I was unable to feed myself, which is a pain in the ass. And I was depressed enough that I wasn't even able to read, which is low. So, all to say, I didn't do much. It just wasn't possible. And it frustrates me a lot, but there's very little I can do about it. So anyway, let's check again. So last week, what I had to do was June, palettes, comments, sewing, the fucking apple pie that I still didn't do, writing, and going to the library. I went to the library and finished the sketches. I commented, I took care of flowers because it's spring and I have a lot of flowers recently. And I wrote a little. Apparently I wrote a little. And I didn't do much more than that. And I didn't do June in time. I only did June yesterday, so the 2nd. Because it just wasn't going to happen. Just couldn't. And I started a book, a fic, on the 13th. So that didn't help either. It took me 3 days to read it. I loved it, so it was worth it, but it was still 3 days. So the truth is, I didn't do the apple pie. I filmed June, but late. I didn't touch the palette. I did the comments. I didn't sew at all. And I barely wrote. So that's a complicated situation. Yesterday I was a little more productive, so I filmed June, and then I load up some fic on my Kindle and I did dishes. About the Kindle, so I have 2 friends, my 2 best friends, who are serial fanfiction readers like me, and we have that problem of keeping tabs open. So for them it's tab because they use their phones, and for me it's files in my Kindle. And last month I decided it would be a fun game to count on all of us how many tabs or files we have waited to be read, and to make it a competition. And I won. So my goal by the end of May was to go under 300, and considering I started 350, I'm pretty proud of myself. I ended up at 295. And then yesterday I wanted wing fix, so I had that Schrödinger denial folder of fics waiting on my computer that I didn't want to think about, and I didn't load them in my Kindle because as long as I didn't, they didn't exist. So yesterday I loaded all of that on my Kindle, and now I'm at 457, I think. So that's quite a lot. My goal for this month will be to go under 350, and I can do it. You know what, I can. So anyway, that's a goal. that's a thing that happened. By the way, I did June. Spirited Away. It was a hard month because I raised the bar very high. So for the rest of the week, it would be nice to undo palettes, take care of the garden, which I should have done before because it has been raining for the last 3 days and it's the perfect time to plant at the camp, but I didn't because no energy, so I didn't. I really need to write and I really want to sew, and today before I go to sleep I need to package the corset that I sold and go fetch some other packages because screw poverty, and I decided to just embrace it and start the project of the Nightmare Before Christmas lookbooks videos. I plan to make a video for each season, so I will have summer heat, like the 3 weeks of the year that I absolutely die if I have more than 10% of my body covered, and then fall, and then winter, and then spring. And I have a lot of ideas, and I have ideas for all seasons, so I'm pretty excited about it. And I really want to sew, but sewing and me has always been a complicated story, so I think that since I'm more passionate about that project now because it's still fresh, I will have more motivations to sew as soon as my mental health stabilizes. which isn't happening right now. That's the goal ultimately. For June, what I want to do. So I have to paint next month. I messed up a little with the paint. It's okay. So I have to do July. Will be watermelon themed. I want to sew. I want to write. I want to edit videos. I want to make the jack set. I want to undo palettes. I want to answer comments, and I want to do the garden. And all of that is just a minimum. It's not even tackling any of the big projects for this year, which is a pain in the ass. And I've been really into the mood of painting lately, so I think I'm gonna spare one day or two just watching painting videos and experimenting on my sketchbooks and just take the time to learn to paint, which is gonna take a while. It's gonna take years before I can actually do the level of precision and skill that I want to have achieved. So that's something. That's something that I want to do, but it's gonna be a bitch. And I really need to write because it's already June and I have one only of the fanfics for the Advent written, and I haven't even started on any others, which is bad. I really need to get my shit together and start again and just push through the shit and really start again and be proud of myself. It's gonna be complicated. Life is hard and health is hard, at least for me, maybe not for everyone, but yeah, that's the goal for this week and for the rest of my life, in theory.